Good afternoon, Merry Christmas or Christmas Eve. We're technically... Good afternoon, Merry Christmas or Christmas Eve. I did it again. We're technically... Good afternoon. I keep doing that on my starts. I've got it playing in the background. Hey Petrus, Fredericcus, Augustus Rex, back in the house, our resident Roman right now. Awesome, you're back. We're going to be flying in Western Africa, not Northern Africa, but a little bit Western Africa, Mali to Burkina Faso in Air Burkina in a CRJ700. Technically it is evening over in Mali, we're Bamako, Mali, but I got us going for an early morning flight, so we should get a good sunrise here over the arid Western African landscape. Let me just see. We're gonna be flying. This is Flight 68, leg 68 of our world tour that I've been doing Microsoft Flight Simulator for a while. It dates all the way back to X-Plane, so that's technically, this is my 169th leg of a world tour, starting back in New Zealand, if you count X-Plane. But I'm just counting Flight Simulator. Cool. We're going to be flying Modibo Keita International Airport, Bamako, Mali, to Thomas Sankara International Airport in Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso. And this flight's based on Air Burkina 513, usually flown in an Embraer ERJ190, but I'll be using Aerosoft's Bombardier CRJ700 with the Air Burkina livery created by request by Asal. I requested it, he painted it the next day. Got the Seasons Pack, Alpha India, groups, traffic, and all that. Cool, that's good to hear. You had an interview today and just got the results. I hope they were good. I need to do some of that soon, looking at different jobs. Yeah, that works. Well, let's get this plane set up. Take too much time doing that. Do our safety checks. Kind of skim over that quickly. We'll turn on our battery master. Awesome, that's very good to hear, Petrus. You don't mind me asking, what's the job? Alright, so we got the battery master switch on. Battery master switch on. We got to get our IRS set to nav. Emergency equipment, gear, safety pins, airplane documents. That's all checked. Hydraulic pumps, FMS initialization. We'll get that. Emergency light switch. Here. Turn that on. Set the seatbelt lights and no smoking to auto, and we'll turn the emergency lights off. Right. I'm just going to kind of skip some of this stuff, just checks, safety checks. Plane is in a safe position. All of our generators are auto guarded. The IDGs are guarded. PC service switch off and battery master on. Fire detection, fire monitor test. Again, we're checking right here as we did last time. Fire system okay. We'll turn on our nav lights and our logo lights. Fuel panel on our pumps off. Side power. Actually, I think I need to go into the look over here. Get that. Connected. Open the passenger door. Service door, cargo door. Aft cargo will do all of that. Now we should be able to get ground power. There we go. Ground power on. We can start the APU. Thumbs up. Working a deli restaurant in your hometown. Cool. Good job. Some good sandwiches, get some good meats. Never a bad thing. Working in a place with food, because usually you get some... Uh-oh. Have to start that. Not sure why the traffic controller died on us. Let's see. Where was I? Here we got our bleed sources. Sure that. Auto. ISOL is open. Both engines, bleed source, and normal for the cross bleed. CPU is going. And at this point, I'm going to set up our Pack X. Our passenger is coming on board. About 54-minute flight, 24 minutes of takeoff. Should be good with that. Cruising altitude 33,000. Flight number 513. Do an in-flight entertainment system. And we don't have custom for Air Burkina, something like that. As always, please give a little shout out in the chat. Let me know you're here. See, we got 5 people watching. I got 5 eyeballs on between YouTube and Twitch. Definitely hoping for more, but on Twitch, definitely I want people on Twitch right now because I'm trying to get enough, that average view count and some followers, so I can use the become an affiliate over on Twitch and be able to do subscriptions and all the fun stuff that comes with that. Alright, so let's do our hydraulic check. Don't need this on anymore. Do our integrated lighting, and we'll go to our hydraulic page. Doing this hydraulic check again. Turn on. Between 45% and I believe 70%. 3,000 psi. Turn these to auto. And on for 3A. 3,000 psi with good hydraulics. Hey, Beantoe Blues. Judith Melkin. Basque Tech. I don't know what that is. I keep seeing that, but thanks for checking out the flight. We're here in Western Africa flying from Mali to Burkina Faso. Our ELT over here is armed and reset. Cabin pressure panel. Our corner over here, and I believe we'll open airport. Golf Alpha Bravo Sierra Gabs, or Bamako here. 1,247 feet is our takeoff altitude. So as we turn the knob, we'll do that right there. That'll be good enough. Pressure, all that stuff is good. Air conditioning panel, turn on our left and right packs. Reciprocal fan on. Our windshield both set to low. Everything else is good there. Hey everyone, Augustin Perez in the house. Trying to see what your avatar is. Can't really see it. Looks like a Wisconsin Badger to me, but I might be wrong. Really cool. Alright, let me get through this so we can get up in the air, because that's what you guys came to see, not just me setting everything up. Kind of get distracted. Get lost. We're not going to do an anti-S test. Windshield switches are set to low. We did that. Emergency light switch armed. Standby compass checked. Stall test. That. Always fun. Right. Nose wheel steering switch still off. Lights. Yeah, I'm not going to turn on his over there. Our co-pilots. Clocks are set. Barometer switch. See what our barometer is. We get an ATIS here. Doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like we're gonna get IFR again. It's really annoying. Alright, 29.88 inches of mercury for our barometer, but I'm going to change that to hectopascals, I think is what it is. Because that's what they use basically everywhere else outside of the United States. Happy Christmas Eve, Augustine. Thank you. Alright, primary flight display. Everything looks good on our readouts. Anti-skid test. Now, usually, if we were doing a turnaround, we wouldn't have to do a number of these things. And technically, we don't have to do all these things right now, but got our anti-skid warning comes up there.
User bay overheat.
On behalf of the cabin crew, I'd like to welcome you aboard our flight. As you find your seat, be sure to place your large carry-on items in the overhead bins and smaller items underneath.
Make sure our engine sync switches are N1 or N2. We got it at N1. Indicator light switch, bright or dim. Good.
The overhead bin is full after you put your carry-on inside of it.
Make sure all of our slats and spoilers are stowed. Thrust reversers are off. Roll disc and pitch disc are stowed.
If you are seated in an emergency exit row, please read the exit
TCAS switch.
card in the seat back in front of you. Please make sure you are willing and able to perform the actions required. If you are not able or prefer not to perform these actions, please let a flight attendant know.
We're testing the TCAS. That's the traffic notification.
TCAS system test okay.
Laptops, tablets, and any other larger electronic devices are stowed once we depart.
Flush, outline, select key. Go back in here and TCAS again. Alright. Display fan switch is normal. IRS switch is nav. And now that fan switch. That fan switch. Right there you go. Right there. Oh. This one down here. There's that fan switch. Normal. Trims. Do our stab trim. Gauge, mock trim. And then our yaw damper. Our parking brake is set, landing gear, manual release handle stowed, ADG is stowed, and emergency flap switch is at normal. Alright, so we are ready, well, to our FMS, then we'll be ready to go. Fortunately, I can't get, I wonder if I can get IFR once I get in the air. Doesn't like to do IFR, the ATC within this simulator doesn't work so well with the CRJ for some reason.
Burkina 513 taxi to and hold short of runway 06 using taxiway. Contact tower on 118.3 when ready.
Alright, runway 06.
Taxi to and hold short runway 06 using taxiway Burkina 513.
Alright, so we're at Gabs, Golf Alpha Bravo Sierra. Copy that down here. Execute flight plan. Origin again is Golf Alpha Bravo Sierra. Destination is Delta Foxtrot Foxtrot Delta. Alternate is Delta Foxtrot Oscar Oscar. Execute. Oops. I want to go back. Go back. Next page. There we go. Flight plan today is. Here's my flight plan. Pull that up for you guys too. Plan. There it is. For the flight plan, we're first going to fly to the VOR. Bravo Kilo Oscar. Then we're going to take an airway. Uniform Golf 860. Really hope the autopilot works for this flight. And take that to Gupov. That's it for our flight. Arrival departure, runway 6. Execute. We're just going direct out. We don't have any SIDs, or yeah, standard instrument departures. And going into Delta Foxtrot Delta, our arrival will be coming in runway 4. So take we'll do ILS 04 X-ray. Our star gonna be Tango India X-ray Oscar Tango 1 Papa right there. We'll just do vectors for now. We'll change that once we get in the air. I can pull up all the charts and everything. Hopefully, again, we have autopilot and make it easier. Actually, just do it all right. Well, we're gonna get, they might tell us a different runway.
We are ready to go when you are.
No, what am I doing? They're not gonna tell us a different runway. That's silly on my part. So let's just get all this in.
And welcome aboard flight 513. Our flight time will be roughly 54 minutes. Please note the cabin door is now closed. We ask that you make sure that all devices are in airplane mode and your larger devices are now shut down and stowed. If you have not already, please fasten your seatbelt and verify it is low and tight across your lap. Your tray tables and seatbacks must be in the full upright and locked position for departure. Cabin crew, prepare doors for departure, cross-check, verify straps, and stand by for all calls.
We'll do AMPEC. Right, back to our performance init. I didn't put the fuel on like I did last time with our little fuel panel over here. We'll just go in here and do it. So change zero fuel weight. And today we need fuel 4,112. And then our zero fuel weight, passengers and cargo, gonna be 27,800. That payload, we'll copy it to the FMS. All in there, cruising altitude 33,000. How do I get the crew announcements? Crew announcements is, well, with the CRJ, there actually are built-in crew announcements. I'm not using those because I'm using Pack X, so that's what you see, this little green bar on the bottom. This is Pack X. You can use it with any plane. And actually, yeah, you can have passengers. It's got localized names, so you can see all these names are much more localized to Africa. You can see that we got like names like Fatima and Solyama and Ihene Dabo. You know, these are Abdullah, definitely names that when I did my American flight we had more American names, and if we're in Asia we'll have more Asian names. So that's Pack X, really cool passenger simulation thing. You'll get some events sometimes. Maybe you'll have like a woman giving birth on your plane. You might have to land, or an engine goes out, something like that. In the CRJ, there actually is, you can actually have a cabin announcement, flight attendant on. You can even change it to be a low-cost carrier, so they have different announcements. I've turned those off because otherwise I'd have double things going back and forth. I already have Pack X running. So that's how I get those crew announcements and everything. I hope that helps you. Pack X, it's if you search Pack X, I should be able to find it, or search TFDI. Yeah, the one I really like is self-loading cargo, but it doesn't work so well with the simulator, and it doesn't have the localized name, so I've gone back to Pack X for now. Back in here, make sure. Thanks for the question. Yeah, that's what I'm using. Okay. VNAV, that's all set. Probably I doubt we'll be able to use VNAV because for some reason the autopilot didn't want to work last time. We are ready to go. Let's turn off the, don't need the flight plan up right now. And get back in the aircraft. Disconnect the ground power card. Close the passenger door. There it goes. Close all of our cargo doors. Move the wheel chocks, and we are ready for pushback. There is a pushback. Power truck coming here. Go away. Well, if we don't get a pushback, we can just actually go forward because there's enough room here. Okay, so it's like an invisible. I'm not going to do a pushback since they don't have a pushback here right now. So let me get going. Did all that. Passenger signs are on. Landing elevation set, boost pumps on and checked. Altimeters set, FMS and the IRS are set. And it actually works because the where we're facing, start our engines. Don't really need to do pushback or anything. Okay, APU is on, papers are on board, takeoff data is set. Actually, it's not. We could do that manually, but I like this way, it's quicker. I believe we do it right there. How we would manually set it. Make sure our doors are locked and closed. 4 page. Alright, we are good. Beacon light on. Starting the engines. Fuel pumps on. Hydraulic pumps auto and on. Parking brake as required. Let's start our engines. Starting right engine. Right, we're at 24.2, so now we're gonna that off. Pull up our to idle. Here's shut off, and now we're at idle for engine 2, and we'll continue spooling up.
Gentlemen, please direct your complete attention to the flight attendant. Lift the upper portion of the buckle. We suggest that you keep
And engine
throughout the flight as
starting left engine.
There are several emergency exits on this aircraft. Please take a few moments now to locate your nearest exit. In some cases, your nearest exit may be behind you. If we need to evacuate
While that
the
engine's
aircraft,
spooling up, I'm
lower-level
going to
lighting
set
will
the
guide
trim,
you towards the exit.
7.2.
In the event that the cabin loses
And again, I
pressure,
hope we
an oxygen mask
get the
will drop right in
autopilot.
front of you.
Last time the
Press
autopilot
oxygen,
didn't
pull the
work.
mask towards you. Place it firmly over your nose and mouth, and
We're
secure
skipping the
oxygen
fuel
behind your
feed,
head.
check valve test. There's a lot of stuff you can do. You can do all the
Although the bag
exact
does not inflate, oxygen is flowing
procedures.
through
I'm just
the
going to skip that.
If you're
Not
traveling with a
100%
child or
necessary.
someone who requires assistance, secure your mask first and then assist others. Keep your mask
Set
on
to
until a
idle.
member of the crew advises you
Engine.
it's safe to remove it.
Left engine
In
coming
the
up.
unlikely event of a water landing. If it doesn't inflate automatically, you may blow into the mouth for manual inflation. Thus, is clipped to the whistle and the light. Secondary device.
Both our engines are ready to go. Setting our cruise altitude.
Once again, all devices must be in airplane mode and your
Flight
larger
director is
devices must
on.
be turned off and stowed at this time. Please securely stow your personal items.
Okay,
Make
Gen
sure
1
your
and Gen
seatbelts
2 are set to auto.
and tray tables are in their
Check
full
our
upright
electrical.
position. We remind you that this is a non-smoking flight.
You can see it's
Tampering
coming from
with,
the
disabling, or
engines,
destroying the smoke
so we can
detectors
shut down our
located in the
APU.
laboratories is prohibited by law. All of this information and more can be found in the safety card located in the seat back in front of you.
Let's see,
We connect you to this and
anti-ice
letting
as
a cabin member
required,
know if you have any
probes are
questions.
on.
Thank you for flying with us again, and we hope you enjoy your flight.
Electrics checked, rudder checked, nose wheel steering armed, APU up down, nose wheel steering armed. APU is spooling down. Once the APU is down, we'll turn off the APU power fuel switch. While we're waiting for that, let's get our flaps. Alright. Arm our thrust reversers. We'll check our flight instruments. Where's flight control? Flight control, there we are. Alright. Brake temperatures checked and are ready. Taxi. Power truck is in the way. But what it is. Is what it is.
Note the cabin lights will be dimmed for departure and landing. If you require additional lighting, there is a reading light on the panel above you.
Let's actually get on the taxiway. I just finished watching the world's disastrous aviation accident. World's most disastrous aviation accident, or like a top 10, or something like that. Yeah, those are always crazy to watch. Oftentimes an element of human error and mechanical error. Alright, so we're going to have to double back on the runway quite a ways. Yeah, in-game ATC is not very good, and it doesn't really work very well with the CRJs, Aerosoft CRJs for some reason. At some point I do need to get into VATSIM more. But sometimes it's more trouble than it's worth. And I like to have, like I said, I need to set VATSIM up, make sure I have all the livery stuff working, so I get the good paints and all that. Otherwise, you get to the airports and they'll be nice and populated, but won't see what the actual planes and deliveries. Nice paint jobs. Like I said, this one was custom made. I requested either an A320 or I guess I could have turned around right there. I don't need the whole runway. A320 or the CRJ in Air Burkina colors, because I think they only have Embraer jets. I'm not sure if they have anything else. And there were no Air Burkinas available for me to use, so I requested it, and basically the next day on flightsim.to it was fulfilled, and I was really excited to be able to use this. Really cool little scheme. Alright, we're a little behind schedule. As we're spinning around. Oh, forgot to turn on taxi lights. That's good. Turn on our strobe lights. Fuel X flow. Manual and then off. Ignition anti-ice as required. Flight attendant advised. Transponder TCAS on. Out here.
Signal Tower Burkina 5-1 tree at runway 06 ready for departure, departing straight out.
Burkina 5-1 tree QNH 29er decimal 9er 11054 at 7. Straight out departure approved. Cleared for takeoff runway 06.
Actually want that set to manual.
Cleared for takeoff runway 06 Burkina 5-1 tree.
Alright. Pull up our engines. Get ready for takeoff. P1 rotate. Positive rate, landing gear up.
Burkina 5-1 tree leaving my airspace, frequency change approved.
We're already at our transition altitude. We'll go standard. I do like to fly this plane manually, but it's also helpful to have the actually have the autopilot fly too.
Burkina 5-1 tree, did you hear my last transmission?
Cine Tower Burkina 5-1 tree frequency change.
Something to take off when we saw the lights going. But, alright, see the sun hitting the hills. Careful chasing speed here.
Gentlemen, we have now passed 10,000 feet. You may now turn on your larger portable electronic devices. This is also a reminder to please float fast while you're speeding, not congregate in the galley or near the lavatory.
So what happens is if you get up too high speed, I'll never be able to actually climb. Alright, so Bamako is on the Niger River, or Niger River. Niger. Most of us in the West say Niger, but it is Niger. Country of Niger. That's why you got Nigeria, and then you have the country of Niger. Niger. Oh. That's the river behind us. Off to our side, the Niger River. I believe. Sure why it's called the Niger River, because I don't think it actually, I think it does reach the capital of Niger, Niamey. Yeah, if you're flying a small, definitely flying a prop aircraft with propeller, it's going to pull to the left. So you have to battle that with the rudders on takeoff. With the bigger jets, I don't think they do pull one way or the other as well. I'm not sure why, since you have two engines, at least two engines, the same number of engines on both sides. I say that the last flight we did, when I flew from Louisville to Washington D.C., it was actually kind of fun flying it by 6. So maybe at some point I'll fly this flight. I'll take over and fly manually again. It's nice that we do have. We do actually have the autopilot. Going to make ascent and descent a little bit easier and be able to get it to the computer. Our arrival and departure and all that. So we've got five eyes on the Twitch right now. We got one on YouTube. Gustin's our lone YouTube viewer, but that's all right. How's your Christmas Eve going right now? It looks like for us, hopefully I'll be able to get this flight in. Should be able to get this flight done by about 4:30. Then we're gonna eat our Christmas Eve dinner, and then we're going to open presents, as is the tradition in the mostly in the Midwest, and that's because Germans tend to open. We tend to open our gifts on Christmas Eve. Or at least we do in our family. We'll watch It's a Wonderful Life or Christmas Story. Christmas Story's on all day, probably on TBS or one of the channels where they show it on a constant 24-hour loop. And then about 10:30 in the evening, 10:30 p.m., we'll head over to one church or the other for Christmas Eve service. We're thinking we might stop into the local Catholic Basilica just to see what it's like on Christmas Eve service there. I believe it'll be Mass. Yeah, get it done at night. Get it done at night, and then in the morning you just, I don't know, I guess you just, well, we would, when I was younger and we lived down near all of our relatives, we would open, my brother and sister, my parents, we would open our gifts on Christmas Eve. In the evening, and then in the morning, the next day, we would go over to our extended family, get more gifts from grandma and uncles and aunts and cousins and all that. So it kind of works out nice that way. Very different from my last flight where I was flying this all manually, and very different environment flying. We got no clouds, very little cloud. I just saw it go past us, but very few clouds here, and much different landscape than the hills of Kentucky and West Virginia and Virginia going from Louisville to Washington. We're going to try to speed up. 290, that's our climb speed. Turned off our lights. And turned off our seatbelt signs for now.
Off the fastest seatbelt sign.
How's that for sound? Is that a little bit too loud when we're outside the plane? I like to cruise a little bit outside here to see the landscape. Kind of these weird little hills and valleys. Yeah, that's basically a straight shot to Ouagadougou. Straight line from Bamako to Ouagadougou. As I was talking about, the Niger River goes through Mali. Looks like ends in Guinea. Goes through Mali, and then does go through Niger right here, Niamey, the capital. It continues through into Nigeria. Maybe it starts here and then oops. Well, I didn't think of it like that. our climb has slowed significantly. We're at 290. We're only going up to 33,000, so we should be able to get there. Mach, just under, yep, Mach 0.74. Where I'm getting all those numbers, why? Is here for our VNAV. Our target speed is 290.74 for our climb. And once we get to cruise, we'll go 300.74. It'll be 300 because we have flight level 330, that's the speed limit. That'll be the indicated airspeed. Once you get to, I believe once you get to a certain speed or a certain altitude, you then refer in Mach. And Bean Toe Blues, I wonder if he'd know more about that, or if that's kind of out of the wheelhouse of, he's going, training for maintenance work on planes. Give me 1 second, I'm gonna step. Give me 1 second, I'm gonna step away for a moment. My wife was poking her head in a second ago.
Sino Center Burkina 5-1 tree is type 72 miles northwest of Sikaso, flight level 305. Request flight following.
Burkina 5-1 tree Sino Center. Squawk 4637.
Squawk 4637 Burkina 5-1 tree.
Burkina 5-1 tree radar contact 66 miles west of Golf Alpha Kilo Oscar, flight level 310.
Roger Burkina 5-1 tree.
Alright, I'm back. And my wife is making, I think she's making milk tea. We got some milk tea, some little packets from the Chinese or the Asian market. Some like instant milk tea that you can make. And we got some of those bobo balls. but doesn't taste exactly right. That's not bad, but she says it doesn't have the tea taste. So she was asking me, it's like, should I put the tea bag in there? Should I put a red tea bag in? And like, if you want to try that and see if that works, I don't know. I've never. When we lived in China, we would just go to the milk tea shop. How much did milk tea cost in China, Josh? Bean-toe blue. Sorry, I used your real name. I can't remember, but it was probably equivalent to $1 or $2. And then we went over to Mayfair Mall here in Milwaukee, and cost. Let's see, it was like $6 for, you know, a decent sized milk tea. It wasn't not like it's ridiculously small, but that same thing in China, you get it for about $1. I'm still able to get the milk tea. I don't have any with me right now, but I'm able to buy some of those. The bottled milk tea that I always get. Dip my Oreos. Still dip my Oreos in it when I do. We're 27 minutes out. Quick flight. Usually it shows the co-pilot in there. I don't have co-pilot for some reason. Really weird. See, where am I flying next? Next flight, I think I'm flying to Monrovia in Liberia. I think that's the next flight. Yep, Freetown Lungi International Airport in Lungi, Freetown. Oh wait, Freetown. I'm thinking Monrovia is gonna be the next one after that. That's in Liberia. If I'm flying to Lungi or Freetown, Sierra Leone, which is, I believe, right next to Liberia. I want to say it's probably called Freetown, because there were probably a number of freed American slaves, African, that were sent back prior to the Civil War, there was different groups that wanted to relocate freed slaves or free black men and women back to Western Africa, where their ancestors had originally been kidnapped and transported over as slaves. And so Liberia was founded as one of those colonies. It was named after James Monroe. Their capital was named after James Monroe, the only capital in the world that's named after a U.S. president, not located in the United States. Obviously, Washington is named after George Washington. Petrus opens presents on Christmas Day. That's cool. Yeah, a lot of people open on Christmas morning. It seems to be the traditional time to do it, but I think definitely in our family, done on Christmas Eve in the evening. What was I saying though? Forgot what I was talking about. Oh, I was talking about yeah, like Monrovia, capital of Liberia, is named after James Monroe, 5th president of the United States. And I believe that's when Liberia that all started, or started a little bit after his presidency. So they named the capital after him. I'm wondering if Sierra Leone had something to do with that though. That also why you have Freetown. Definitely when I fly there, I'll check that out. Next flight. Where are we? Just about halfway through the flight. Once we get to the waypoint Egib, or Egib, that is the border between Mali and Burkina Faso. Cross over into Burkina Faso airspace. We'll have one more waypoint, Gupov, and then the airport. Now, I thought I put in, not sure why there's no, oh, you got discontinuity. You should always check for your discontinuities before you have to take off. Not a big deal. There we go. Now we got it. I like this page. This is the direct intercept page, and what it does is it gives you the vertical speed. So as we're coming in, we're going to need to descend for Gupov. You have to descend 700 feet per minute, fix out 1,300 feet. It'll adjust as needed. We're actually at our cruise. We're actually flying a little bit faster than planned at Mach 0.8. Not sure if that's breaking a rule. It's probably burning more fuel. That could become an issue if you do that. On too long a flight, you don't have enough extra fuel. Have a page right here. That doesn't help me. Performance. Fuel management.
Burkina 513, contact Niamey Center on 126.1. Good day.
126.1 Burkina 513. Niamey Center Burkina 513, flight level 330.
Burkina 513, Niamey Center, continue as planned.
We should be fine with fuel. Unless we, again, you have those extra, you have fuel reserves and you have extra fuel to get to the alternate airport. If like weather is socking in Ouagadougou. Let me see if I can pronounce this right. Ouagadougou. Ouagadougou. Got it. Or at least that's my guess. Let's see if I can get a... Actually, not Oua. It's French. So Ouagadougou. Ouagadougou. I should have known that O-U-A. It's kind of like the same sound that we get. That's where we kind of get Wisconsin from. Like we called home. Ouagadougou. Ouagadougou. Capital of Burkina Faso. About 2.5 million people. The city's name is often shortened just to Ouaga. And the inhabitants are called Ouagalays. Hot milk tea. I tend to like it cold. You can get it either hot or cold. Yeah, she's right. It doesn't really have the tea flavor to it. Milk tea is milk and red tea, brown tea. Well, it's red tea. It's called red tea, kind of home chop. Maybe we do need to. Probably just gotta make our own milk tea from scratch. Usually it's called, over here it's usually called boba tea, I think. In China it's nai cha, milk tea, nai milk cha. Maybe Bean Toad loses, laughing at me for my Chinese pronunciation. I don't know which one's worse. My Wisconsin accent or my bad Chinese pronunciation. Alright, you can see the top of descent coming. Once we get there, we're going to do vertical speed, and we're going to use the vertical speed. We could use speed, and we could descend at maintaining 290 knots. But if we do that, I believe we'd probably need to do more. Well, either way, we need to move the throttle. In fact, that's probably what we should have already done. Back to 0.74. But we do need to feather the throttle as we're descending. Real CRJ pilots use the vertical speed option versus the speed option. The speed is good for on climb, and it will maintain that speed that you set, 290, and then climb at that rate. On descent, vertical speed works better, and you can go off of this and adjust your vertical speed as needed, then maintain speed based on your throttle. Ouagadougou is coming up. Ouagadougou. 13 minutes, looks like. Our expected arrival is about 18. Hope that these passengers down in a timely manner. Right. Pull up the star chart. There. Ticks out, we need to be at flight level 80, so 8,000 feet. We got quite a bit to descend. We're going to go to flight level 237 by the time we get to off. Let's put that in. 23,700. Basically flying over the city of Ouagadougou. It seems like all the major cities. There's a bunch of cities right here in a row. Ouagadougou, and then Ouagadougou, and then Ouagadougou. So I'm not sure what that. If I could find what that is. What's the significance of the Dogu? We are flying down below us, off to our left. City of Ouagadougou. Back map. Right on our top of descent, let's turn on the seatbelt signs. In our descent, 2,700 feet. See the little arc, the little pink arc showing just beyond Gupa. That's because we need to adjust 0.8 vertical speed, 2,800 feet. That'll get us right on target. Looks like we'll just maintain the same rate down to flight level 80 once again to get the ticks on. We want to keep our eyes on the speed. Be at 290. See if I could see the Dogo, but I couldn't. Up to our right, coming up, will be Ouagadougou, which looks like a little bit of bigger city. Let me get a look at that. Pull the throttle all the way back. Now. it doesn't have the T flavor. Just the sweet stuff that you add to it. Weird. Considering that it's kind of like if you're doing like hot chocolate packet. But it's milk tea. At the altitude for 8,053 nautical miles out from Tucson, so we'll have 50 miles to get from 23.7 to 8,000. Wage Sabre Sobo Bombem Tenga. That's the Ninzi called it. Ninzi tribes, dating back to the 15th century. Kumbi Tenga means head war chief's village, so I'm thinking Tenga or Dogu. Somehow Tenga turns into Dogu, and that probably means village. I got a number of the cities, that same term. We're actually descending quickly. Definitely a hot area. Average high. Right now we're December. Average high in December is 33.4 degrees Celsius, 92 degrees Fahrenheit. Record high is 40 degrees Celsius, 104 Fahrenheit. Average low is 16.9 Celsius, 2 degrees Fahrenheit. And record low is 49 degrees Fahrenheit, 9.5 degrees Celsius. And average rainy days this time of year is 0. Average humidity, 29%. And sunshine hours, 284 sunshine hours during December. I don't know how you find that. I guess I think that's going with clouds and stuff. Actually, it's the highest, like, November, December, and January, actually the highest number of hours for sunshine. We are close to the equator, but I think we're south of the equator, so that kind of makes sense a little bit. There's seasons. Might be right there. That might be city of Ouagadougou.
Highways going to it over there.
Hey, Gustin Perez, we're on our descent. Descending to 8,000 feet, passing through 14,000. Let's go get me a bagel. That sounds good. Did you have to go out to get that, or was that in your house? Sound good. We're a little too fast right now. Let's stay around 290. We're gonna have to get down to 250 pretty soon. In fact, let's start doing 250. We're descending at 1,800 feet per minute. I already kind of see some ground fog or some low clouds. Alright, let me turn that down just a little bit more. Trying to find that right spot. Definitely when we're outside the plane, it's kind of loud. Hopefully you can still hear the inside. Inside's still good, because I know it's much quieter on the inside, obviously. I do watch some streams, and they don't have the game audio up much at all, but I want you guys to be able to hear some of the sounds at least. A little bit. Well, I turned it down a little bit. Let me know how that sounds. Obviously, it sounds a little quieter right now. Anyway, outside. That's percent. In the distance there, that's Ranso. Ranso River. That's what that body of water is up there.
We have begun our final descent into your destination. Flight attendants will be
Into your destination.
select any track one final
It's because it doesn't have Ouagadougou.
Please also store any carry-on items either in the back pocket or under
landing lights. Ground taxi recognition lights as well. 50. Getting a little bit more green as we get close to Ouagadougou. I guess we're not going to get any planes on the ground here in Ouagadougou. At our next point, we need to get down to 600 feet. Potem, it's saying 2 Potems. Weird. Send 4. Our approach.
Burkina 513 contact Ouagadougou approach on 118.1. Good day.
Going to 118.1 Burkina 513. Ouagadougou approach Burkina 513 7,200 feet.
Burkina 513 Ouagadougou approach QNH 29.88. Continue as planned.
Ouagadougou Tower Burkina 513 21 miles west 6,700 feet to land.
Burkina 513 Ouagadougou Tower. QNH 29.88 2 is 5. Enter left base runway 04.
Fly left base runway 04 Burkina 513.
MPEC, we need to be above 2,600. R. Watching our speed. That again show you. Looking at the approach chart now. At our minimums. Height's going to be 200 or 250 feet. Feet decision height, and to make sure our altitude, our airport elevation is 1,038. We are at go. 110 point. Whoa, what did I do? That. Right, 110.2 for our radio. Or 110.1. Gotta get our speed down. Him. And we need to be at 2,600 feet, and then at Foxtrot Delta 501, that's when we'll capture the glide slope. So we're going to hit our approach phase here. And this seasonal pack is really great because it adds in like these really good trees. Based on it, and based on the location too, so you'll get the right kind of trees for the right areas. A little too slow here. Landing 136.
Sync rate 1,000. Sink rate.
Yes, they were sinking too much. Lost our speed. Approach. Apply our flaps. How long is this flight? Yeah, I believe it was about an hour. We're just about to land. Should actually be landing right now. We're actually going to disengage the autopilot because it didn't capture the glides, or it didn't capture the glide slope very well. Landing gear deployed. More VFR stuff right down there. You see the factory, some cool smokestacks. That's pretty cool. We don't miss the runway. Pilot deviation. We're a little.
Burkina 5, 1 tree wind 05, 2 and 5. Clear to land runway 04.
A little below the glide slope, I think.
Clear to land runway 04 Burkina 513.
I think I bailed on the glide slope a little too early. We're all right.
Glide slope. Glide slope. Glide slope. Glide slope. Glide slope. Glide slope.
Trying to find the airport. There it is. There's the runway. A little off to the right.
Sink rate.
400.
Sink rate.
300.
Sink rate.
200.
Sink rate.
100.
Sink rate.
50. 40. 30. Minimum. 20. 10.
Right. There it is.
Burkina 513, turn next taxiway.
Afraid I was gonna miss the airport.
Burkina 513, contact ground on 118.1.
Remember to use caution when
118.1
opening
Burkina
items may have been
513.
shifted during the flight. If this is your final destination, we thank you for flying with us. If you're making a connection, we encourage you to check your itinerary to ensure a smooth continuation of your journey.
Alright. Start the queue. And get a taxi to parking.
Ghana ground, Burkina 513 request taxi to parking.
Burkina 513 taxi to general aviation parking via taxiway.
Taxiing to general aviation parking via taxiway,
Probably park
Burkina
right over there.
513.
Get a steel box. Yeah, I basically went VFR there. Well, I still had the flight directors. I just turned off the autopilot because it seemed to be I wasn't actually descending, but I think I panicked a little bit there. So it would have been fine. But yeah. It was a IFR approach. Had the localizer, do an ILS. But sometimes I can get screwed up. Yeah, always seems to be a haze right on the landing. That's your instruments in that situation. Alright, parking brake set. EP on. Up our lights, turn off peak light once we pull back our engine. Beacon lights off, seatbelt signs off. Craft, our wheel chocks, get a ground power cart, and we'll open the passenger doors. Passengers should start getting off. There we go.
We are still
Boarding
boarding.
status check. Wish they paid a little more attention to the airport. Oh, do you mean like how it's designed, how it's set up, like actually? Yeah, but I mean, X-plane is sort of the same thing. You know, you're gonna get, depends. I think, you know, X-plane would basically just have the runway, and then people would go in and, you know, crowdsource freeware, develop them, and then payware better. Or the same thing here. Alright, so I'm going to turn those off. Wait, on or off? Did I not have my thrust reversers on? Probably not. Oops, I think I just killed all the power. Not how you turn it off, but I'm just going to turn stuff off. Right. Okay, there we go. Put our screens again. So, before we close everything out, we'll pull open Volanta, bring it over to our screen. The third person to arrive at Ouagadougou Airport. Do the flight. Their statistics. 53 minutes of flight time. Negative 265 feet per minute landing rate, so a little bit harder than I would have liked. Fuel burn 1400, landing speed 120, a little bit slower. It should have been about 130, I think. And 1 second, I forgot to open it up. Well, I'm not gonna open it up today. I usually have a map showing all the countries we've been to, but I don't have that ready to go. So let's get our dear passengers getting off. Well, thanks for coming along on this flight. Thanks for chatting. Another good flight here to Burkina. Next flight will be to Freetown, Sierra Leone, or the next world tour flight. I'm not sure what my next stream. Next stream might be a requested flight. We're gonna be doing American Airlines on that one. American Airlines flying an A320 from Washington D.C. Ronald Reagan up to Boston Logan. So it'll be either that or it'll be a flight to Sierra Leone, or it might be a VFR flight. I'm not sure which flight we'll do, but there will be a stream. Hopefully I'll get a stream tomorrow, or if not tomorrow, on Sunday we'll have a few streams. Maybe we'll do a longer one where I do a couple flights. So thanks for coming along. If you haven't already, if you like these videos, please follow the channel on Twitch. It's Martin Wenzel on Twitch. Subscribe on YouTube. Give it a like, comment below, share it with your friends, all that stuff, and keep heads up for the next time we have a stream or a video coming out. Thanks a lot. Until next time, keep the blue side up. Happy flying. Oh yeah, and Happy Christmas. Or Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year. Well, I'll give you a Happy New Year once we get to that point. And hopefully we'll be able to see some fireworks if I'm able to fly on New Year's Eve that late, depending on where we are in the world. And I do have a fireworks mod that we'll be able to see. So until then,